And again, good morning. Quickly the progress. Maybe you don't see much because you already seen the charge screw that was mounted there. Well, not mounted, it was just in a position, but now it's mounted after 3 different prototypes. The first one was, I had to change the position a little bit. The second one was a good position, but it was too high. And the charge cooler, the angle there was hitting that. Let me just put the light on it. Oh, there you go. It was hitting there. Now I can put my finger in between, so I'm okay with that. I mean, this is solid, so you can almost touch that and there will be no problems. But I wanted everything, fit properly because you're gonna receive, the customers orders this stuff, you're gonna receive the mount for the charge cooler. But this charge cooler is when they go out the production. I'm not expecting them to be 100% every time exactly the same, depending who welded them or how they get out of casting or whatever. If there is some imperfection, I want some room to accept those imperfections. Even if the charge cooler is slightly different position on his own mounts or slightly different there, no problems, no drama, everything fits correctly. Now, I have to use an external a mock-up engine because underneath there is very tight. It's too tight to actually build stuff up. So what I do, I use, you've already seen it, but let me explain. So I have this is the engine mount on the gearbox. This is the Toyota engine mount that fits on the chassis. These bolts here are the ones, this hose here accept the bolts bolt to the chassis, and this is solid. The engine moves against that in between this rubber mount. Now the problem with this is it does not give me the exact position that is actually inside the car, because once the engine mount is bolted to the chassis, the engine is suspended on this. So this pulls down with obviously the gearbox and engine mount. Now in this case, the engine obviously sits on the engine stand, and this is just here. So the position of this rotation on its own axis on this ball here may differ. That's why I have a zip tie here. If you can see, I put in attention because I actually have to check. I had to check actually on the car in the chassis what the actual position is with everything in tension. So that's why the zip tie, so keep everything level, in correspondence to the rest of the engine. But also I have to take into account that it won't be here. This originally will be slightly higher. It's about 10 mil. So I really have to keep that in mind, especially when you put stuff that is very tight to everything, it's close to the stuff. You got the sensors here, you have the gear system, and obviously the piping. If I build the piping here that is going to match exactly this, when you put it in the car, it's going to be slightly higher, so that's not good. Everything has to be taken in account. Anyway, this was the second prototype, built in aluminium. I liked it as a prototype, obviously, but it took the charge cooler a little bit too high, and it was almost touching there. So I opted to, because I lost all that space there with that thickness. So now I'm using this thick material. This is mild steel, 3 mil thick. Is a section, so it's nice and solid, nice and strong. It gives it a little bit of flexibility on the if you have some vibrations, but it's solid enough to don't deflect or don't bend in time and change the form in time. So I'm happy with that. What I'm going to use at the end, I'm not sure yet. I have to make a decision because we're going to design this stuff and get a lazy cutter. I think I'm going to use stainless, same stainless I use on the engine mounts, 4 mil, because I use the 360 stainless. It's a bit more expensive, but it stays eternal. It's always going to stay like this. I'm known to making my engine mounts and bigger mounts all stainless, and they look like this if you don't see them before. And they stay like this, It's beautiful because you don't have to paint them, and they stay like this. You can see the welds. Everything is transparent. There's nothing hidden under the powder coat, paints. Again, these you get dirty, wipe them off, and it gets shiny again. They never change, no matter how old they are. So I like it. Plus, it's strong. It is a bit more expensive to me to produce them, but the results are quality, and that's what I like mostly. So that's part of it. So this one is a little bit of a custom setup, just as a turbo goes. Everything else is fine. So what you see in there is what you receive if you order something like this. This is ready to go to the customers. That piping there is going to be slightly different. My light is running out of battery, so I'm not sure if you can able to show it. But if you see, this is 3.5, that's 3 inch, that's 2.5, because the body is 2.5. If you see that bend over there, that angle, it touches the body a little bit. It focuses on my finger, sorry. It touches the board a little bit. There's no drama because, again, this is mounted solid on the chassis. So there you go, battery run out. So that part touching there, it doesn't bother me. It's more than acceptable because it will not move. The movement is at the front of the body. In the middle is going to be 50% of movement, and there is going to be maybe 1%. So that's more than acceptable. There's no sharp edges or anything there. However, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the reducer, which is 90 degree, like, as you can see there, from 3.5 inch straight to 2.5 inch. This is what I had to mock it up. That's 3 inch. You can see the difference in diameter on that pipe. Sorry, let me move the hand from the light so you can see it better. If that diameter runs all the way, including that bend, that's all we need is to remove the bit of contact between the body and that bend to the straight to the intake cooler. So it's all good, all great. Now on this side, this is again 3.5. This is 3 inches. Actually, I'm gonna weld this to this to the aluminium compressor housing because again this is custom built. But the original turbo is actually in a very similar position, so everything is gonna look almost exactly the same. So there's gonna be an elbow here, and it's gonna be from 3 inch to 3.5 inch. On the standard turbo, is gonna be 2 inch into 3.5. That's all changes, and obviously the exhaust, the downpipe changes. On the standard setups, the exhaust goes from the nib there, but then it goes in the same place as on this. But already talk about that. Now another thing that we working on it that I have to finish between today and tomorrow is the air filter. The air filter, which is the cold air duction. We actually decided after a lot of tests and testing different various bits and solutions, this is one of the best improvements in all of this, because we thought that the vents that are actually working on the side of the car, they work all right and they bring fresh air to the engine bay. Well, we were wrong. It doesn't work as good as we were expecting. If it works, there's very little difference. So it's very important to have a duction to bring outside, to have a filter here actually. Is actually where the vent is. And it's very simple at the end. I haven't finished it yet, so I have to bring you up to date once this is done and finished and ready for the production. However, to put the filter here, there's one little thing that you have to do. Well, first of all, it's very simple to remove these panels, because MR2s, all the body is not structural, everything is bolted on. The panel, the side panel here has been removed just by removing bolts. There's nothing to cut, nothing to remove, it's just bolts. You can remove it in your house. It's a very simple job. The problem, which is not a problem, but it is something that this bracket sits there, well, a bit closer to the air filter, and that prevents to have enough space for this air filter to be there. But all you have to do is to remove 4 spot welds, these holes here. That's all you do. You see there? Now to remove that is very simple. Now you can always cut it here. That's not a problem. But obviously, to make a nice and neat job, all we're using is these special drill bits. They're not expensive, not as special to be expensive. You see they flat. Focus, camera, focus, please. There you go. You see, it's a flat drill bit with a bit of a point here as a guide. And because they're flat, they don't drill the holes, they remove the spot weld. All you can see is a bit of a hole in the middle from the pilot, from that point. That's all you see. So it's very easy, it's very quick, and you don't have a bracket. Otherwise, you're gonna have a bracket, it's gonna be chopped with the angle grinder. It's not as neat as it should be. Again, anyone can do it in his driveway, so it's very simple. And that's it really, that's all the progress. Oh, no, I'm talking rubbish. There is one big thing that I have to, so that's the battery, okay? And we say that I'm sacrificing the battery removal. We have to put the battery in a different place because I want that space for the bigger charge cooler. In the previous videos, you've seen it. If not, go have a look. No, we don't have to. Look. This is a lithium battery. You can have a gel battery. There's your battery. It's better, it's stronger, it's more durable. Okay, it's more expensive, but because it's better, and you can put it down. And for me, if you want to, just to put a tray, weld the aluminium tray on this charge screw, because again it's aluminium, it's very easy. It takes me nothing. So we don't actually have to relocate the battery. So for what I was thinking is going to be a compromise, actually we make even the battery position and the battery tray better. Everything is improving. I'm loving this car. I'm loving this. This is what the development looks like. You test new ideas, test again, test again, test again, test again, test it, try it, come with different ideas, and there you go. But that was purely, the battery was there. It was like, hold on, let's put it there. There you go. So stupid. Anyways, that's good. That's good. So that's also good. Another thing is the bike is ready for, almost ready for MOT. The last part just arrived. Aluminium, another is aluminium nut for the steering stem. So we're ready. The only thing is, I think, well, my lights are all working, but the indicators, I think that's going to be a problem because they're not spaced correctly. I think it's going to be like 240, 400 millimeters between one and another. That's a bit of a bugger, so I have to put the indicators like that, you know, to the back of the bike as well. So I've just checked it out and it's a rule. I was hoping to bring it to the MOT today, but it's not gonna happen. It's gonna happen next week. Bugger. Anyways, I see you soon. I don't know, maybe tomorrow. See ya.